afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all on behalf of EPCS to today's very important discussion that we are organizing, which is navigating logistics challenges amid global shipping disruptions, strategies for exporters. As you all know, the whole world is passing through a difficult time with the current stalemate in the Middle East. But the business has to go on. We have to find a way through what's happening across the globe. The times are difficult, but there are ways to hang on, to be there in the business. And most of the exporters who have joined us and who are going to join us in a couple of more minutes understand this better than we at TPCH. So with this background, we are organizing this discussion. To begin with, we have with us our Vice Chairman, Sri Sagar Mehta ji. Welcome you, sir. We also have with us the guest faculty, who is known to some of you because he has been our important speaker for the past 2-3 years. He is Mr. Vanish Ahluwalia. He is a Group Vice President, Messrs. Seahorse Shipping Agencies Private Limited. He has 25 plus years of experience across both service solution providers as well as end users. His formal background includes an LLM in maritime law, a postgraduate degree in computer sciences, materials management and shipping, and export management. He has been a faculty trainer at IIT Madras, IIT New Delhi, Blue Ocean Corp, CILT, EPCH, and many more. So before I ask Mr. Ahluwalia to make his presentation, I would request our Vice Chairman to welcome him with a bouquet of flowers.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Arunji. Actually, to be very true, Varunji, Varunji, who is a CEO member, please, I will request कि आप आगे आ जाइए, please. I think हम लोगों का challenge अभी recently तो चल ही रहा है. Obviously, as exporters, we are facing a lot of challenges right now. But it's been a while that we exporters are facing the heat. कभी रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर, कभी पीछे इजराइल अराउंड वॉर हुआ, उससे पहले इंडिया पाकिस्तान हुआ, उससे बाद अब ये वाला वॉर चल रहा है. तो कंटिन्यूसली वी हैव बीन फेसिंग द चैलेंजेस. Yes, recently this challenge is a big challenge. What is facing is the shipping and everything, which is going to continue for a time. I don't know how this global tension will be over, but yes, we have Vanish Agarwal who is with us today, and he's going to guide us that how comfortable we can make it for us, what are the challenges, how we can make it better. So with Vanish, I will request you to please take it from here.
Thank you very much, sir. And I'm once again thankful to EPCH for coming forward and arranging this particular awareness program, I would say, or a seminar, because the topic is very, very urgent if you happen to be an exporter, right? So as a brief introduction has already been given by Mr. Rawat, and I must thank Mr. Mehta, Mr. Rawat, to always they have been taking that initiatives, for the benefit of the exporters, particularly in this very, very difficult time, right? So I have made a presentation, right? And I'll be running through this, and would like that this session should be very, very interactive. Why so? Because everybody is going through a horrible situation right now. So believe me, it is as challenging as a trainer to take this session for me as the challenges you as an exporter have been facing. So we are all together in it, right? So we have to understand the situation where we are stuck today and try finding some kind of strategies, practices, solutions. So as a brief introduction has already been given, so let me have a self introduction of mine here. So I have spent almost like 30 years, so the time has really flown, and I spent around 3 decades. I happen to be working with shipping companies, freight forwarders, ICD operator. That was my first job. I started with the PSU. You might be aware of Container Corporation of India Limited. So we have faced all sorts of problems there, right? So I have gone through all that, and not only as a shipping company I have represented, I also happen to be working just like you as an exporter, importer. I have handled a volume of around 3,500 containers per month. So I have gone through, and that too during COVID period, right? So we are all here together. We have similar problem and challenges. Challenges is one side and we all are on the other side. So we have to find a solution to ourselves. And that is the aim of this particular session today. Alright? So whatsoever I'm going to be taking the subjects today, if you have any problem in between understanding, you can raise your hand and immediately come forward. You want to make an observation, a feedback, it's an open forum. We are deliberating on the issue. It's not that I am trying to find the best solution for you. I happen to be in the industry and I happen to be with all these service providers or exporter, importer and manufacturer. But then, as I said, we have a common problem ahead of us. That is my introduction. I think it is very important for me to introduce you as an exporter, right? So who are you? You are the fundamental driver of economy of our country, right? You influence GDP, exchange rate, inflation, interest rate, right? India's export ecosystem support millions of jobs across manufacturing, logistics and services because of you as an exporter. So a round of applause for everybody here. Right? So we are, as a shipping company or a port operator, are existing just because of you, because you offer us a cargo to be carried, right? So we respect that, but yes, the situation of supply and demand keep changing, and then it goes to the benefit of somebody and a loss to other. So that is something which we want to understand today, right? So this session, as the topic has already been seen by each one of you, navigating logistic challenges amid global shipping disruption. डिस्ट्रप्शन इतनी ज़्यादा हो रही है कि सुबह कोई डिसीजन होता है और शाम तक कुछ और हो जाता है. I was speaking to Mr. Sagar Mehta. In the morning there was a news that Strait of Hormuz is open, but I'm sorry to tell you that it is shut down once again. Right? So situation is very, very dynamic today, right? So spend a little time on this presentation, collected a lot of information from the industry, from my other offices and overseas. So try presenting you how it looks like actually. So the flow of the presentation is going to be in almost around 6-7 points. I would like to give you a global trade and India's export profile related to merchandise. I'm not talking about service export, and of course handicraft. That is the main commodity for us to talk about. Although all the commodities facing the same problem. Right? We will also talk about global shipping landscape and choke points. See, there are choke points which you must understand. There are 8 choke points in the ocean freight maritime business, and we really do not understand those ones. So today I will take this opportunity to explain each one of them. If not each one of them, the one which are relating to your business, which is disturbing your businesses, right? जो Middle East में हो रहा है, सबसे पहले उसकी बात करेंगे. You have gone through Red Sea crisis. I don't want to really talk too much about it. And it's a lesson learned from us. We learn from the history, right? So, but then there is another challenge ahead of us. Little bit similar of Red Sea crisis, because there are particular nations who are fighting with each other and we are getting affected. Our business is affected because of that, right? So we will take, in fact, not only Red Sea crisis, I would like you to have a look at all the problems which we have seen since COVID time, right? There are a lot of problems which we have gone through, the crisis situation. So it's a reminder to you, what you have done so far, have you understood, have you found out a solution to yourself? That is something I want to stress this point on. This will be a shocker for you. The 4th point, I'm sorry that you cannot view it. I don't mind if you want to sit here, sir, to have a look. Will be fine? Okay. So, freight rate shocks and surprises. In fact, it is going to be an eye-opener for each one of you. I'm making a comparison of freight rate during the Red Sea crisis and Middle East crisis also. Feb में क्या rate थे, March में क्या rate है, you will be shocked. Of course, you are aware of it. It's not that I am letting you know. You yourself aware of. So this one slide is dedicated to the variation of freight rates. Alright. So key challenges for the exporter. challenges which we are going to talk about is the cost, the payout which is going from your pocket, and the delay on your shipment. Two very critical points which are really affecting you badly. So I have brought in 10 strategies, what I could think of. It's not that it's an instant coffee solution, but yes, I have thought about it, what other exporters are doing, what they are practicing, how they are overcoming this situation, how they are facing it, how they are trying to minimize the losses, how they are mitigating these challenges is something we are going to be talking today, right? So I'll be speaking in Hindi and English both. So I think you will be comfortable, right? So these are the 6 areas which we will be, revolving around, all these 6 points. If anything is uncovered, you can always stand up and say that you also would like to share. Okay, look at this export profile. One glance of this slide, gives you a real vision of our India's merchandise export growth in the past a decade, starting from 2013 and 14 to 2023 and 24. How much is the increase? 39%. Right? I'm talking about merchandise export, and handicraft is a part of it. Right? So the growth, unfortunately, for handicraft had not been that substantial, which means there is a huge scope of improvement. Let's take it positively, right? So you can see 437. I'm sorry, I just missed out. We say that export changes, it's the fundamental driver of any nation's economy. Which nations come to your mind if I'm making this statement?
Which nation?
Comes into your mind if I'm China, of course, right? So if we are talking about our export to be 437 billion, you must understand China's export is $3.8 trillion. $3.8 trillion. So they are definitely doing something right. They are also in the same situation. We always say, "Arey, China को copy नहीं करना चाहिए." या China copy करता है. Right? So what I'm trying to say is the good thing should be picked up. Whosoever is practicing it. So $3.8 trillion is a substantial, big, huge number. It's a manufacturing hub of the whole globe. So wherever possible, necessary, we will bring that points also in the discussion. Or what is the other countries doing about it, right? Because everybody is in the same situation. I have purposely taken another commodity which is very important in India, it's called textile. India has been a cotton growing nation. So textile is something which has been there for many years, and the importance is that we have a very good cotton available throughout the time, since the time we have started producing. So textile has reached to a excellent level, I would say, because their export is around $37.7 billion. Handicraft, less than 4, which means there is a huge scope of improvement. If textile can reach to these numbers like $37 billion, why can't handicraft? So what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to be understanding a better logistics, branding our product, identifying and accessing the market, which EPCH always keep telling you and helping you out also in this. So these are general statement, but then it has got a very big impactful message which I am trying to convey. Major markets, the first thing which comes into the mind is US. All said and done, whether we are dealing with China or Russia, in US dollar or their local currency, US will become an important market for us. In any political unstable situation, disruption, US will be a prime market. How much for handicraft? 35%. European Union, 22%. Middle East, this is the topic which I have picked up for today. 12%, you can't ignore it. Because Middle East import everything and anything. They do not manufacture. You agree with me? So all the commodities which goes from India, all corners of India actually goes to the Middle East. It may be not the similar number as it goes to US and Europe, but believe me, Middle East will remain a very, very important market because they don't produce anything themselves. So this is something which I will be focusing more. UK, Australia, Japan, of course, are always an important market. And don't think आज प्रॉब्लम मिडिल ईस्ट में भी है, दूसरी कंट्री में एक्सपोर्ट करने में प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी. दिस इज एसोसिएटेड, ऑल द ट्रेड लेन्स आर एसोसिएटेड. आपने क्राइसिस जो कोविड का टाइम आया था, आपने देखा था कि कंटेनर इम्बैलेंस हो गया था. द कंटेनर इज नॉट अवेलेबल. You know, EPCH also, I think you had more than 1,000 meetings during COVID. Difficult time. So they were trying to solve the problem of equipment availability and space on the ship. Demurrage, detention, every day lag raha tha exporter. Right? So what I'm trying to say is, there is a rippling effect of each problem which is existing today. Uska effect agar Middle East mein ho raha hai, to please be prepared, other countries mein bhi hoga. That's what I want to tell you today. Being a being a professional from the shipping industry. Look at the trend of exports. This is the figures from Ministry of Commerce and Industry. There is a huge data which is available with EPCH. Please do visit their website. I think they collect lot of information. You know, they have huge data. In fact, they have got a latest data also. They have published recently. So, little bit data I picked up from EPCH website, but this is something showing you the trend. You know, during the COVID period, there was a dip, of course, then it picked up, but then I'm sorry to say, the export is not reaching that expected number. Service export is crossing the limit. I don't know if you are aware of it. सर्विस एक्सपोर्ट में जबरदस्त ग्रोथ हो रही है, हमारी तो 1% की ग्रोथ भी नहीं हो रही. वो आजकल मैं देख रहा हूँ, वो एडवर्टाइजमेंट में डालते हैं अपना लिंक्डइन में, वो मर्चेंडाइज एक्सपोर्ट को कंपेयर कर रहे हैं, दैट वी हैव ग्रोन 10% एंड मर्चेंडाइज एक्सपोर्ट हैज ग्रोन 1%. सो एवरीबॉडी विल हैव देयर गुड टाइम. नो, ऑल द बेस्ट टू देम. ऑफ कोर्स दे आर helping the Indian economy, right? They are adding to the benefits. Let's come to the topic. Now, these are the major export destination for Indian handicrafts. कौन सी है? United States, sorry, USA. Now, I really don't want to read what I have written there. I have written the important countries along with their percentage of share from India, the growth number, 35% to the US. उसके नीचे देखो आप, मैंने और भी कुछ लिखा हुआ है, उसमें मैंने बताया that they are the largest buyer. So all the buyers, whether it is Target Store, Cost Plus, Walmart, you know, everybody has grown in their volumes, whether they are sourcing from Indian subcontinent or Far East or Southeast Asia. They have grown substantially. Amazon has grown really big. I'm talking about exports from India. I'm not talking about the domestic market. So e-commerce की भी बात करेंगे. It's very important. But US में, please be very careful. I'm not going to be. I'm a little bit digressing from the today's topic, but I must tell you, trade compliance is very important. हर country का एक compliance है जो आपको follow करना पड़ेगा. एक होता है Consumer Product Safety Commission US में. आपको ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा उसका कि what is that calling for. आपको अपने buyer से check करना पड़ेगा if you are exporting to the US. So all the successful exporter who are the member of EPCH, like Mr. Mehta, have understood that compliance. That is why he is a successful exporter. Number one, right? This is not the topic, but I am just letting you know. So each country you will see some trade compliance is there. एक है REACH, European Union. I don't know if you have heard of it. What is that? Regulation for registration, evaluation, authorization, and restriction of chemical. क्या मतलब हुआ इसका? You're using chemical in your products, right? So, yeah, are you meeting that compliance? Of course, you are experts, you know, here sitting. So, if you are unaware, who will stop to take knowledge from somebody who is aware of it? That is what I think. Within the EPCH, as a member, you should be gaining information from others, because these compliance are going to be very important for you. और क्या compliance हो रहा है? European, absolutely yes. Very right, sir. Hazardous cargo, if you happen to be dealing in, you know that there are three types of commodities which comes under three categories. One is freely exportable, number two is restricted, number three is prohibited. So you have to identify through your HS code. I'm not going to be taking that session of CHEMS here, you know. CHEMS is organizing the classes, you know, where I am a faculty also. So in depth we can talk about these areas. But today, just a very plain and simple compliance. European Union is very worried about greenhouse gas emission also. So they are going to be already they have put in a surcharge toward emission. So don't be surprised कि what is the surcharge. I'm going to be talking about the surcharges also. Specifically war risk surcharge. ये आपको समझना बहुत जरूरी है. War risk surcharge is eating away your profit. Can you do anything about it? Why it is being charged? When it is going to be discontinued? इस सब की बात हम करेंगे. यूनाइटेड किंगडम में क्या हुआ? डॉक्यूमेंटेशन चेंज हो गई. डॉक्यूमेंटेशन जैसी ब्रेक्सिट आया उसमें डॉक्यूमेंटेशन चेंज हो गई. आपको have you understood? Yes, that's why you're doing business. Those are the things which keeps changing actually, and you have to keep yourself informed, educated, right? So you have excellent market like artisan goods which goes to the UK, not from today. Since the time I stepped in this industry, 30-40 साल से तो मैं देख रहा हूँ मुरादाबाद का एक्सपोर्ट जो है वो यूएस जा रहा है, ये यूके जा रहा है. यूके is importing previously than the US. You know, UK से बायर पहले आए थे यहाँ पे, USA से नहीं आए थे. Yeah, absolutely. So try understanding what I'm trying to convey you. There is a bonding with UK for whatever reason. I don't want to go to the history. Neither we are going to be discussing today political issues. हम political बातें नहीं करेंगे. हम ये करेंगे कि ये political चीज हुई है, हमारी shipment को कैसे affect करिए उसको. Rather, what Mr. Trump thinks about Iran और ईरान का एक्शन क्या होगा? No, we will not be falling into that political debates. But हमें क्या करना है? उस पे जो तवज्जो देनी है, right? So Australia growing e-commerce market, we have seen it, you know, but they worry about biosecurity. They are worried about their citizens, their people, कि उनको कोई infection ना हो जाए या environment खराब ना हो जाए. You'll be surprised. एक मैं आपको example देना चाहूँगा. One of the exporter exported wooden furniture. Of course, it comes under handicraft only. Wooden furniture to Australia. It was custom cleared, delivered. जो importer था, उसने आगे sale भी कर दिया. किसको? To the retailers, and retailers are sold to the consumer. Chairs, tables, lot of things, you know. And it had gone to the living rooms also. Can you just believe Australian government can take a decision of calling back those commodities? Because उसपे कुछ heat treatment नहीं हुई, उसपे कुछ doubt आ गया. उसके पास ही is here. Let's give him a warm welcome. So, what I am trying to tell you, there could be a call by Australian customs to call back consignment even it is being consumed. It's a fact, huh? One of the buyer was telling me that सारा माल वापस buyer को बोला कि you bring it back to the port and it is going to be deported into India. Do you understand that situation where the exporter is stuck today? Okay, this is one of the examples which I am sharing. But coming back to the topic of today, Japan, of course, is a very, very good market. You know, particularly precision craft and this fragrance thing, agarbattis and all. We have seen it is being carried in our containers and ships. That's why so this data I've taken it out from my own data, you know, of the shipments which we have been handling. Of course, the volume of Japan has not been huge, but then it is consistent. Right? And Middle East, you know, we call it Gulf Cooperation Council countries, GCC countries. Very important for you. Once this issue gets over, you will see huge order flowing in. I'm not trying to give you a very good rosy picture, but yes, it happens. जब एक issue खत्म होता है, then there is a surge of orders. So be prepared for that. तो उसके लिए आपको आज समझना पड़ेगा जो हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, right? So क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? We are going to be talking about Gulf crisis. That is the main topic of our discussion today. We have gone through, unfortunate for you, I'm very sorry, you have seen the worst actually. So we will just have a look at it, that what we have gone through in the past, so that we understand the future better. Alright? These are the commodities which you have been exporting and we have been carrying, right? So this is art metalware, zari goods, musical instrument, imitation jewelry. I think Mr. Mehta is already there into that business. He's one of the leading exporter. Woodwares, leather goods, pottery and ceramics, and embroidered goods. So this is something which has been also going. And if you see down below, also have again covered key trade compliances even for the commodity. So this presentation I don't mind to be sharing with everybody so that you don't have to really note it down. So don't worry about noting it down. Just concentrate here with an open mind and interact with me. That is the purpose of this whole session. So there are many other commodities I might have missed out, I think in total how many commodities EPCH, I don't know, handle, is that around runs in thousands or how many?
Every product that has been exported. So the data compiled is based on 185 HS codes. But that is not all. I mean, there are n number of other products which are under the ambit of those 185 HS codes.
So I have picked up very small numbers out of 185, right? So with all due respect to the commodities which are not even mentioned here, in fact those brother exporters are also facing that problem, right? So let's move ahead. Now this is something I want to right in the beginning explain you. Now here is something we are stuck. Strait of Hormuz. What is strait? It is a water body, right? So आप यहाँ पे देखो ये choke points हैं. How many? 8 choke points. How much of the volume takes place via these choke points? 90% of the trade passes through this choke point, whether it is being exported from Indian subcontinent or the whole of Far East. I'll explain. ये है यहाँ पर हमें ये सारा Far East है, China भी है. Far East, South Asia, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, इंडोनेशिया, मलेशिया, ये सारी कंट्रीज इधर है. इनका सबका कार्गो यहाँ से जाएगा, यहाँ से. ये शॉर्टकट. आप शॉर्टकट लेते हो ना घर जाने के लिए, तो ये भी शॉर्टकट है जो एक्सपोर्ट शिपमेंट लेती है. कितने किलोमीटर? सर, दिस पर्टिकुलर I want to explain. Strait of Hormuz has the width over here of around 30 kilometers. I'm talking about this area जो ईरान ने बंद किया हुआ है. And what is the length of Strait of Hormuz? Almost around 60 kilometers only. जो narrowest space है जहाँ से ship निकलता है वो है 30 kilometers. Strait of Hormuz. ईरान का सबसे बड़ा पैच है जो उसमें Strait of Hormuz है. तो हिंदी में अगर मैं समझाऊं तो ये चुंगी वाली सीन है. चुंगी चार्ज करते हैं ना रास्ते में, दादागिरी. तो आई डोंट माइंड सेइंग यूजिंग दिस वर्ड कि दादागिरी है सिर्फ, और कुछ नहीं. कि मैं देखता हूँ कैसे जाओगे आप. यही रेड सी में हुआ था, यही हमारे सारे शिप यहीं पे अटक गए हैं. दिस पर्टिकुलर दिस स्मॉल एरिया मैं बड़ा करके दिखाऊंगा आपको.
Below that is the Red Sea area.
Yeah, I'll explain. You see, I'll come to the Red Sea. आपने ये वाला रूट यूज किया था, केप ऑफ गुड होप, जो मिस्टर पासी भी मेंशन कर रहे हैं, दैट यू हैड टेकन अ लॉन्गर रूट, क्योंकि शॉर्टकट में तो सारे बैठे हुए हैं, Houthis and all those people. So we will not political debate में नहीं जाएंगे हम लोग, but what I am trying to say is, उन्होंने पता किया हुआ, कि आप निकाल के दिखाओ. Our ships has been attacked. The sailor has died. घूम के पूरा यहाँ पे, ये पूरा कितने दिन एक्स्ट्रा लगते हैं? 15 दिन. 26 days ट्रांजिट टाइम होता है, तो कितना हो गया? 44 days. फ्रेट रेट कितना इंक्रीज हुआ? $3,000 ऊपर देना पड़ गया. ये है क्राइसिस आज की डेट में. अभी आई एम गोइंग टू बी शेयरिंग अ रियल डेटा, सॉरी टू से रियल डेटा, व्हिच इज गोइंग टू बी वेरी डिसहार्टनिंग. बिलीव यू मी, मेरे को दिखाते हुए दुख हो रहा है एक्चुअली, बट देन आई डिसाइडेड कि नहीं, हमको दिखाना ही है. राइट. सो पनामा कैनाल देखो, इसको हम अपनी टेक्निकल लैंग्वेज में बोलते हैं, ये इंडियन ओशन है सारा, ये सारा इंडियन ओशन है, और ये जो है यहाँ पर अटलांटिक ओशन है. तो ये जो बीच में पैच है, इट इज कनेक्टिंग द इंडियन ओशन विद अटलांटिक ओशन. तो आपके जितने भी बायर्स सबसे बड़े बैठे हुए हैं, वो हमें यही वाला रूट लेना पड़ेगा वहां तक पहुंचाने के लिए कार्गो, बिकॉज इट इज शॉर्टेस्ट रूट प्लस इट इज चीपेस्ट. बिकॉज अगर आप कुछ कहीं, इवन इफ यूर पैसेंजर, if you are going to be taking a shortcut, you will be burning the less fuel, no? Same goes for the ship. So I try to keep it very simple, I will not, we are, the people from the shipping line are, बेवकूफ़ी बनाते हैं technical language use करके, I will not try to do that right today. So Somebody said yes. Okay. So Panama Canal भी है, उधर कुछ और हो रहा है. साउथ अमेरिका, आपको पता है लैटिन अमेरिका क्या है, साउथ अमेरिका और नॉर्थ अमेरिका यूएसए, उसके बीच में भी एक ये आती है पनामा कैनाल. उसमें क्या हो रहा है आजकल, उसमें क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशन प्रॉब्लम कर रहा है, वाटर लेवल नीचे जा रहा है. तो वाटर लेवल नीचे जा रहा है तो क्या हो रहा है, उस कैनाल से शिप ही नहीं जा पा रहा है, वो अटक जाता है नीचे. तो जो ड्रेजिंग भी कर लो आप, तभी भी वो जो है इट कैन नॉट पास थ्रू. देयर इज अ क्लाइमेटिक चैलेंजेस बीइंग फेस्ड. सो वॉर भी हो रहा है, क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशन भी हो रही है, जियोपॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन खराब हो गई है, लड़ाइयां भी हो रही है, वॉर भी हो रहा है, टेरिफ वॉर भी हो रहा है, थैंक्स टू मिस्टर ट्रम्प, राइट. सो एवरी डे इन द मॉर्निंग ही गेट्स अप एंड ही थिंक्स कि किसको कौन सा टैरिफ लगाना है या कौन सा रिवाइज करना है. So the tariff war is more dangerous than the country to country wars today. So try to understand that, right? So I'm not going to really go through all these choke points. सारा choke ही हो जाएगा session पे, you can move forward, right? So what matters to you is Strait of Hormuz today. What was happening in the past? Suez Canal, ये आपको affect कर रहा था, करा है आपकी shipment बहुत ज़्यादा impact हुई. ओशन फ्रेट जो आपने दिया, मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा पहले क्या था और आपने कितना दिया, और सिर्फ दिखाऊंगा नहीं, उसके बाद हमें मेन टॉपिक पे आना है कि हमने करना क्या है उसका. फिर टोल्ड मी ही हैड 1000 मोर देन 1000 वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसेस. सर कुछ बताएंगे आप उसके?
सिर्फ 6 महीने के टेन्योर के बाद, क्योंकि 2 साल की होती है चेयरमैनशिप की, और उसके बाद ये कोरोना ने अपना चलाना शुरू कर दिया. फिर सारी मीटिंग्स शुरू होगी पीयूष गोयल जी के साथ, अपना मिनिस्टर ऑफ टेक्सटाइल जो भी मैडम थी हमारी स्मृति ईरानी जी. आई थिंक आई डिड 1040 मीटिंग्स. बंदे की आंखें ही एक इतना 3 घंटे, अच्छा कई मीटिंग्स ऐसी होती थी जो 8-8 घंटे चलती थी, और घर में भी थोड़ा होने लगा यार करते क्या हो तुम लोग हैं, खाना खाओ तो नहीं बस वो मीटिंग. ये कभी बीओटी की मीटिंग होगी तो उसमें तो पता नहीं कितने मिनिस्टर्स, स्टेट मिनिस्टर्स वगैरह सारे, वो बड़ी लंबी चलती थी, राहुल जी को भी पता है इस मामले के अंदर. बट एनीवे हम भी नहीं रुके, तो फिर एक दिन लगा कि भाई फेयर तो होगा नहीं. तो राकेश एंड मी एंड देन वी डिसाइडेड कि हम इसको वर्चुअल शो करेंगे. अच्छा वो टेक्निक नहीं थी हमारे पास, तो बाद में सारी रिसर्च के बाद वो टेक्निक हमने यूके से पता की. तो देन वी मेड एग्रीमेंट. उनको दे हैव टेकन अ लॉट ऑफ मनी आल्सो, बट तो ड्यूरिंग दैट पीरियड वी डिड ऑल आवर जो भी शोज थे. चलो कम से कम एक्सपोर्टर सारे बिजी तो थे ना, एक टेक्निक पता चल गई. आज वो टेक्निक कहाँ काम आ रही है. आप अपने सैंपल दिखाते हो बायर्स को, देखो आने वाला टाइम भी वही है. जैसे लड़ाई चल रही है और हर एक आदमी ये कहेगा यार कौन 24 घंटे जाए, 18 घंटे जाए वापसी. ठीक है यार, थोड़ा बहुत जो भी है हमें चीज़ें दिखा दो एंड ये ऑर्डर करो, सारा काम तुम्हारा चलने लगा अभी ऑनलाइन. क्या आप रखो, नहीं तो ये तो
चलता है.
टॉपिक है. थैंक यू
सो आई एम थैंकफुल टू मिस्टर पर्सी, वो मेरा काम आसान कर दिया. उन्होंने कोविड वाला इशू सॉल्व कर, मतलब डिस्कस कर लिया. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू बी स्पेंडिंग टू मच ऑन दिस नाउ. लेट्स शिफ्ट टू द नेक्स्ट वन. 2021 में नेक्स्ट ईयर क्या हुआ? आप रिंग रोड से आए होंगे, एक ट्रक फंस जाता है ना तो पूरा ट्रैफिक जैम हो जाता है, देयर इज अ डिले, पूरा लंबा कतार लग जाती है. यही सिचुएशन हमारे साथ हुई. एवरग्रीन के एक शिप ने सुएज कैनाल में फंस गया, वो 6 दिन के लिए 400 वेसल, 400 ship one side and the 400 ship on the other side. In total 1000 ship stranded with the cargo. We cannot move. The whole cost is going to be coming on whom? Unfortunately to the exporters. तो ये 6 दिन की कहानी में ही एक पूरा का पूरा वर्ल्ड हिल गया. It brought the whole shipping community to its knees actually. You know, I don't know आपको मालूम चला कि नहीं, but we got stuck in this situation. 400 ship on either side got stranded in 6 days. तो ये प्रॉब्लम चलती है. Next thing, Red Sea crisis. You know, we had Houthi attacks. It damaged everything. Everything. थोड़ा बहुत हम संभले थे इससे, तो 2023 में ये हो गया Red Sea crisis. I'll just show you one dedicated slide, you know, for Red Sea crisis, right? फिर एक आपने सुना होगा यूएस में बाल्टीमोर ब्रिज कोलैप्स. एनीबडी हर्ड अबाउट इट? So what happened is the sailors, somebody says sailor mistake हुई है कुछ हुई है, but उसमें भी क्या हुआ, जितने ईस्ट कोस्ट के पोर्ट थे, नॉर्फोक, न्यूयॉर्क, all these Charleston and till about Halifax in the Canada area, the whole thing got affected because of one issue which happened in Baltimore. So मैं ज़्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जाना चाहता because it has really affected the shipping community, right? What was the next one? There was a drought at Panama Canal. वो यूज नहीं कर पाए, उसके ऊपर मैं ज़्यादा बात नहीं करूँगा. Today's topic is Iran conflict, this particular one. We have to be understanding this Hormuz crisis. That is something I have prepared myself as a trainer to explain you, so that all the pertinent points I am putting you across, so that you understand the situation, and then only we will talk about the strategy to overcome this. Whether can we overcome this situation? That is something we are going to be discussing. Now, a little bit of history. You must know that in almost around 1956, first container was devised by an American entrepreneur called Malcolm McLean. So I really don't want to go in the history, but then the first container came from the US, which you are using 20-footer, 40-footer high cubes and all those things, right? Then there has been some rapid improvement in shipping trade. Privatization हुआ, इंडिया की बात करते हैं. Lot of operator was government backed, government controlled. जितने भी पोर्ट थे, पोर्ट अथॉरिटी, नवशेवा वगैरह या चेन्नई या कोचीन पोर्ट, they was in the hand of the government. So what has happened is private port started coming in. Like you are using Adani port, Mundra port, Pipavav port is operated by APM terminal. चेन्नई में है, वाइजैक में है, कोलकाता पोर्ट, पारादीप पोर्ट, private terminals आने शुरू हो गए because lot of liberalization kept on happening in our country, right? Again, we are not going to be discussing too much on that. Shipping industry में बहुत ज़्यादा, I am a real victim of that. 3 shipping lines I have worked which disappeared, which was acquired by somebody else. One of them was, I didn't work, Hanjin का आपने शायद नाम सुना हो. So Hanjin shipping line disappeared. So this also affected the exporters. So quickly, just run through this, Most important, now we are entering into that zone of, I would say the danger zone. Shipping line में क्या हो रहा है? The number of shipping lines is getting reduced. When maybe Mr. Pasi or Mr. Mehta had been exporting around 20-30 years back, there was in total around 45 to 48 shipping lines in Delhi I am talking about. Today it is confined to only 30. तो क्या हुआ, आप एक शिपिंग लाइन को उठाकर देख लो. लेट्स पिक अप वन शिपिंग लाइन लाइक मर्स्क लाइन. उसके अंदर कितनी सारी शिपिंग लाइन समाई हुई है? सैफकरीन, सीलैंड, P&O नेटलॉयड, हैम्बर्ग सूट, कर लिया ना एक्वायर उन्होंने. तो क्या हुआ? They have got the strength to make you pay as per their working, their demand. अच्छा, ये हो गया एक चीज. अब now I don't want to really go to CMA ने कितनी एक्वायर करी. एक और example, I used to work for a Japanese company. There was a joint venture with Tata Group called Tata NYK Transport Systems Limited. It used to be Tata NYK. I think सर को पता होगा. तो क्या था? NYK used to be the biggest Japanese carrier. Situation सिर्फ एक्सपोर्टर की खराब नहीं हुई है, शिपिंग लाइन की भी बहुत खराब हुई है. इसीलिए वो बिकते चले गए. Japanese 3 शिपिंग लाइन कौन सी हैं? कौन सी थी? Sorry, NYK, K Line and Mitsui. तीनों मर्ज कर गए. They decided कि we don't want to be sell off, कि let's join hands और एक मर्ज कर देते हैं. कौन सी लाइन बनी अब? 1 ONE, Ocean Network Express. तो आप एक्सपोर्टर के लिए क्या हो गया? चॉइसेस कम हो गई. उसके ऊपर क्या हुआ? Listen to that. उसके ऊपर shipping line has entered into alliances and consortiums. Alliances and consortium. Just look at this. Maersk and Hapag-Lloyd had been fighting with each other. उन्होंने अपनी losses को reduce करने के लिए alliance बना लिया. उसका नाम क्या है? Gemini Corporation is formed between 2 lines, Maersk and Hapag-Lloyd. They are the leading carriers. They come in top 4. एक तो line पहले acquire कर गई, number of lines कम हो गई, अब consortium हो गए. Which means either you are dealing with Maersk or Hapag, the vessel is going to be the same for you. Which means they will not fight with each other. They will have a standard freight rate to be paid by you. So ये क्या होता है आपको पता नहीं चलता because you are dealing with a freight forwarder or a CHA. But at the back of your mind you must know. At least you should question your forwarder. This I generally take in different sessions. That you know forwarder से पूछो यार किस लाइन पे आप कर रहे हो. मैं उसमें आप ये भी पूछो उसका कंसोर्शियम कौन सा है, सर्विस कौन सी है. So this knowledge is required for today by the exporters also. The situation is so difficult. If you remain ignorant, you will be taken for a ride by these service providers. Let's be very open about it today. Premium Alliance 3 line और join कर गई ONE, Hyundai and Yangming. In India, Yangming is represented by us, our group company. It's a Taiwanese line. So उन्होंने भी join कर लिया. ये alliances का मतलब क्या होता है? देखो हर एक सर्विस चलाने के लिए चाहे यूएस के लिए या यूरोप के लिए हो हमें वीकली प्रोडक्ट देना पड़ता है. एवरी वीक द वेसल मस्ट कम एट नावाशेवा या मुंद्रा जहां पर भी आप एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. वीकली प्रोडक्ट आने के लिए एवरी लाइन इज डिप्यूटिंग अ वेसल. सो इन दिस पर्टिकुलर अलायंस ONE, Hyundai and Yangming has put in their ships. But हो क्या रहा है? They are reaching to this level that they will command the ocean freight. तो आपको एटलीस्ट इतना बस बताना चाहता हूँ. एक तो शिपिंग एक्विजिशन हुआ, मर्जर हुआ, उसके बाद there are alliances. क्या हो रहा है? Fewer carriers, bigger groups, they set the rates for you. Rate ये decide कर रहे हैं आपके, और आपके पास कोई option नहीं है. I'm sorry, there is no option you are having, right? So you must understand. So there is another very big alliance called Ocean Alliance. MSC is the only line left who is single-handedly running their ship. They are not into any consortium today, right? This is just for your information. Now Red Sea crisis. हुआ क्या था और क्या सीखे आप? Yes, maybe 20 years. So you will be surprised that I think Mr. Asi can explain you well. They used to deal directly with shipping line. When I was in APL or P&O Ned Lloyd or Maersk Line, exporters used to directly sign service contract with us for 1 year. I'm talking about the US. वो खत्म हो गया. कौन सा एक्सपोर्टर डायरेक्ट शिपिंग लाइन से रेट लेता है आज की डेट में आप बताओ मुझे. तो हो क्या रहा है कि service provider has come into the picture and they are providing value addition to the services like door to door, custom clearance, storage. क्योंकि प्रॉब्लम इतनी बढ़ती जा रही है, क्रेडिट भी चाहिए आपको, you know you don't want to make upright payments. So they are providing you everything, you know, all documentation is taken care. You have a less than container load, NCL shipment, so you cannot go directly to the consolidator. You're still going through a freight forwarder or a custom clearing agent. So what I'm trying to say is, जो over the period of time shipping line का आपके साथ distance होता जा रहा है, वो होता जाएगा, you know, but आपको एटलीस्ट पता चलना चाहिए मैकेनिज्म क्या हो रहा है, शिपिंग इंडस्ट्री कैसे मूव हो रही है. वो अनफॉर्चुनेटली एक्सपोर्टर तक नहीं आ रही है यार. नॉमिनेटेड वर्क, हाँ नॉमिनेशन भी आ गया है और एक्सपोर्टर कहता है चलो यार मेरा फॉरवर्डर देख लेगा. वो गलती अब मत करिए. आप दोबारा से जैसे पहले काम करते थे, when your parents or your grandparents were working, you know, if there are export houses, I have been dealing, जिसकी थर्ड जनरेशन आ गई अभी, तो मैं उनको बोलता हूँ बेटे आपके दादाजी के साथ तो मैंने सर्विस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किया हुआ है. I don't look that old, but yes, that is a fact. So there is a exporter at Panipat textile. They used to have every day one container 40 feet. So what I'm trying to say is that the relationship did exist at that time with shipping line and exporter, but today it is not there because freight forwarder has come in and they have made their presence very very strong. And number of shipping lines has reduced. अगर reduce होगी तो monopoly भी बनेगी ना. आप सोचो आप इस बात. जो market share CMA का था वो था 30%. APL को टेक ओवर कर लिया उन्होंने. APL was not a small line. It used to be called American President Line, Red Eagle वाला जो उनका लोगो था. APL को टेक ओवर करने के बाद उनकी मार्केट particularly to certain sector has reached to 50%. तो वो क्या करेगा CMA CJ वाला? He will try to make the best of his monopoly, you know, monopolistic view हो जाएगा ना उसका. तो यहाँ पे एक्सपोर्टर ने सफर किया है. Let's come to the topic again. Now, रेड सी में मैं शॉर्ट में बताना चाहूँगा आपको. फ्रेट रेट देखकर ही आप समझ जाओगे कि हुआ क्या है. इट इज प्योरली अ गेम ऑफ सप्लाई एंड डिमांड. जब रेड सी क्राइसिस शुरू हुआ तो कंटेनर अवेलेबिलिटी में प्रॉब्लम आ गई. द स्पेस ऑन द शिप बिकम अ प्रॉब्लमेटिक इशू फॉर एक्सपोर्टर. तो फ्रेट रेट स्टार्टेड गोइंग हायर. So I have made a study for you. I will try to show कि pre-red crisis में क्या हुआ, post में क्या हुआ, right? But this you can go through later on that what actually happened. You know, I have mentioned here India to Europe 40-footer rate went from $600 to $3,600, 500% increase. Is it not like alarming situation for an exporter? You have paid this amount plus आपकी shipment जो है वो 20 days delay भी हुई. Lot of people lost their orders. कंसाइन के साथ प्रॉब्लम हो गई, जॉब चले गए लोगों के फैक्ट्रीज में, यू नो, बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हुई रेड सी की. तो why I picked up is because this issue was very serious and अब जो इशू है वो उससे बढ़कर आया actually. That is why I picked up this particular topic, right? So we have spoken about Red Sea. Let's see immediately. Okay, just have concentrate over here. I think it is visible to everybody at the back also. आप पढ़ सकते हैं इसको? Okay. जब प्री क्राइसिस जब रेड सी हुआ था उससे पहले क्या हो रहा था? आराम से काम कर रहे थे. ये सुएज कैनाल यहाँ से जा रहा था रॉटरडैम, यूरोप वगैरह, ये शॉर्टकट था. ये डिस्टेंस था, ठीक है. ओके, नॉटिकल माइल्स को आप ज़्यादा गौर मत करिए. जस्ट फॉर योर इन्फॉर्मेशन, 1 nautical miles in our maritime industry is around 1.82 kilometers, right? I'm glad that exporter knows it, you know. So 22 से 26 डेज का ट्रांजिट टाइम होता था. वेसल्स भी आपको मिलते थे. फ्रेट रेट 500 से $800 तक था. I have seen a freight to Europe going down as much as around $250. I don't want to talk about it, right? तो ये सब भी हुआ. शिपिंग लाइन भी सफर करी है, डोंट वरी, यू नो. तो क्या हुआ है, वॉर रेट सरचार्ज उसमें उस टाइम में क्या था, नील. आपने कभी भी नहीं दिया वॉर रेट सरचार्ज. क्यों दोगे? वॉर का रिस्क ही नहीं था तब. वॉर तो छोड़ो, रिस्क ही नहीं था तब, ठीक है. उसके ये पोस्ट क्राइसिस क्या हुआ, जो रेड सी का पोस्ट क्राइसिस था वो तब क्या हुआ? तब आपकी रूटिंग हो गई वाया केप टाउन, केप ऑफ गुड होप, साउथ अफ्रीका, पूरा घूम के गया वो. फिर क्या हुआ, डिस्टेंस 11,500 से बढ़कर 3,500 हो गया. ट्रांजिट टाइम 45 डेज. फ्रेट $3,600. वॉर रेट सरचार्ज $50 to $100. स्टिल एक्सेप्टेबल. अभी आप इतने हैरान नहीं हो रहे हो. $50 से $100 आप दे सकते हो, कोई बात नहीं. वॉर रेट लग गया, विच इज फाइन. आप बायर से बात करोगे, बायर भी बोलेगा नो नो यू हैव टू बियर इट. यू से ठीक है $100 लगेगा, मैं देख लेता हूँ. एंड यू केप्ट ऑन मूविंग, ठीक है ना. तो आपने अपनी शिपमेंट को इफेक्ट भी किया, निकली भी, वो डिले हुई, कॉस्ट ज़्यादा लगी, बट पहुंच गई फिर बाद में लंबा रास्ता लेकर, राइट. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट यूरोप एंड यूएस बोथ. दैट इज योर प्राइम डेस्टिनेशंस, राइट. जाते थे ग्रीन लाइट से, ये वाली, ये शॉर्टकट था. यहाँ पे रेड सी ये है पूरा, और सुएज कैनाल ये वाली है. ये पूरा यूरोप है, पर्टिकुलरली नॉर्थ यूरोप. और यहाँ से अगर सीधा जाओगे तो यूएस ईस्ट कोस्ट निकल जाता है रास्ता. अब क्या हुआ, आप ये वाला फॉर एजेस यू हैव बीन यूजिंग दिस. जब ये हूथी अटैक्स हुए, रेड सी क्राइसिस, तब आपने ये वाला रास्ता पकड़ लिया. दिस इज साउथ अफ्रीका. सो केप ऑफ गुड होप. यहाँ पर भी कंजेशन शुरू हो गया बाय द वे, ठीक है ना. इधर इसने भी कॉस्ट बढ़ा दी. ट्रांजिट टाइम तो बढ़ा, कॉस्ट भी बढ़ गई, ठीक है ना. यहाँ से घूमकर इट वॉज केटरिंग टू यूरोप एज वेल एज यूएस ईस्ट कोस्ट एंड मेनी अदर कंट्रीज, मेनी अदर इंपोर्टिंग कंट्रीज ऑफ हैंडीक्राफ्ट. क्लियर हो गया ये, ठीक है. नाउ लेट्स मूव अहेड. सो दिस प्रॉब्लम आई वांटेड यू टू काइंड ऑफ एक्नॉलेज कि आपके साथ ये प्रॉब्लम हुई थी, ठीक है. अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. लुक एट दिस, दिस इज क्रेजी. ये पहला झलक है, पहली झलक है ये क्रेजीनेस की. See, I'm from shipping industry, but I'm very open to share everything with you today. अब देखिए, यूरोप में कितना फ्रेट इंक्रीज हुआ, आपके मुंह से सुनना चाहता हूँ. 500%. कितना था पहले? 500. फिर कितना पहुंच गया?
3,000.
आपका पूरा सप्लाई चेन उल्टा कर दिया है. It is completely disrupted. You have to kind of bear it, because you were not knowing कि मैं करूँ क्या इस टाइम में. You have to pay through your nose actually this freight rate. And I'm talking about all major export destination. All major export. मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया की बात नहीं कर रहा. ऑस्ट्रेलिया न्यूजीलैंड में वॉल्यूम इतना ज़्यादा नहीं जाता जितना यूरोप और यूएस में जाता है. यूएस का हाल देख लीजिए आप. 129%, 181%, look at it. Okay. जब कोविड से पहले का रेट जो मैं बेचता था लॉस एंजलिस या न्यूयॉर्क के लिए 40 मीटर का रेट था $2,000. वसी साहब will support me in this explanation to you. You know, कोविड के पीक टाइम में लॉस एंजलिस का रेट या न्यूयॉर्क का रेट had reached to $15,000, $15,000. फिर भी एक्सपोर्टर कह रहा है यार कंटेनर दे दो. So that situation is so horrible for you. मैं वही बस आपको सिर्फ अवेयर करने के लिए नहीं आया, मैं जगाने के लिए आया हूँ कि ये सिचुएशन आती जाएंगी. सॉरी टू से अब मैं वो मिस्टर रावत को बताया था, अब सिस्टमैटिक तरीके से बनकर आ रही है. पहले हैफेजर्ड वे में आती थी रैंडमली, अब वो प्लानिंग चल रही है किसी की कि नेक्स्ट क्राइसिस हम ऐसे लाएंगे. तो दे आर गेटिंग मोर इंटेलिजेंट टू ब्रिंग अ न्यू क्राइसिस फॉर यू. दे आर वर्किंग ऑन इट एक्चुअली. आई डोंट वांट टू टॉक अबाउट हु आर दे, राइट. सो अब ये जो मैंने स्लाइड दिखाई है ना, ये मैं मिडिल ईस्ट की दिखाने वाला हूँ, राइट. और मिडिल ईस्ट में सिर्फ ओशन फ्रेट की बात नहीं करूंगा, उससे बड़ी किस चीज की बात करनी चाहिए? सरचार्ज. कौन सा? वॉर रिस्क सरचार्ज. वो होता क्या है, क्यों लगता है, उसकी भी बात कर लेते हैं. नाउ Iran tension disrupted 20% of global oil. Of course, if oil gets disturbed, our trade also gets disturbed. We charging ocean freight on the basis of the fuel, right? So the fossil fuel you call it, I don't want to go into that details like greenhouse gas emission and all. Sustainability की बात अभी नहीं करते. But coming back to this situation, so I've explained you. Now look at this. क्यों फ्रेट बढ़ रहा है, क्यों वॉर रिस्क लग रहा है? जैसी वॉर की हिंट आई ना, जो शिपिंग लाइन ने जिनसे इंश्योरेंस कराई थी उनके अंडर राइटर ने इमीडिएटली भांप लिया कि एक वॉर होने वाला है. दैट इज कॉल्ड रिस्क ऑफ अ वॉर, नॉट इवन अ वॉर. सो व्हाट दे डिड इज, जो 2.2% से 0.5% जो वेसल वैल्यू की इंश्योरेंस लगती थी प्रीमियम, दैट हैज हिट एट लीस्ट अराउंड 3%. तो प्रीमियम एकदम बढ़ गया. Shipping has to pay that premium to the insurance companies. That's why they are applying war risk surcharge over and above your ocean freight. So the kahani, you just see, it is basically a risk, a surcharge which is of the risk of the war here. So try to go through the word of this surcharge. So again, I don't want to go in. 3 million extra insurance per voyage. Voyage is जो एक पूरा एक vessel जो पूरी जर्नी लीड करता है पूरी, फ्रॉम वन प्लेस ऑफ ओरिजिन टू द डेस्टिनेशन, राइट. नाउ यू सी UAE alone is India's third largest trading partner, and I'm not talking about oil only here. इसीलिए ओमान में अभी क्या हुआ था, I think EPCH has been really working hard on that also. FTA साइन हुआ ओमान के साथ. UAE के साथ क्या है, CFTA, या वो भी FTA है एक तरीके से. तो the government to government bilateral relationship was to encourage the trade. बट ये वाली सिचुएशन अगर टोटली इन कॉन्ट्रास्ट जो पीछे हुआ था उसके अगेंस्ट जाना शुरू कर दिया इन चीजों, राइट. सो I will quickly show you the freight. Now let's see here. I will come back to the previous slides. Can you just believe your most important port in Dubai? UAE में कौन सा सबसे important port है? Jebel Ali. Jebel Ali में every exporter almost या freight forwarders when we approach always have a shipment. Always have a shipment. Not only FCL, even LCL also goes in a very big numbers because anything and everything goes. Rice जा रहा है तो meat भी जा रहा है. Household goods जा रही है, textile जा रहा है, handicraft, terry towel, everything goes, right? FMCG आप कह लीजिए, everything goes to UAE. UAE is the main area in the Middle East जहाँ का सब वॉल्यूम सबसे ज़्यादा है. क्या फ्रेट की कहानी हुई? I was selling in the month of Feb, mind it, 27th Feb को मेरा रेट था $125, $125. 2 दिन के बाद from 1st of March, the freight rate jumped into $4,500. कितना percentage increase? 2100%. is it not alarming for you? Anybody who is sitting exporting even one container to Middle East will think about it कि अब मैं आगे करूँगा क्या? So the situation is same for many other Middle East या GCC countries. चाहे सऊदी अरेबिया हो, चाहे ओमान हो, चाहे कतर हो, एक्सपोर्ट हर जगह जाता है. नाउ माइंड इट, जितनी दूसरी कंट्रीज हैं जिनकी सर्विसेज वाया गल्फ से जाती है, यहाँ से ये यहाँ से, you see, this is Persian Gulf. So the whole oil producing nations are over here. That's why I brought this thing. Now this is a connection into India. ये पाकिस्तान है, इसके पीछे इंडिया है यहाँ पर, right? So ये है स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज, ये यहाँ, और यहाँ पर बैठा हुआ है ईरान. ये सबसे बड़ा पोर्ट है उसका बंदरअब्बास, यहाँ पे ईरान है, और ये विड्थ की बात कर रहा था 30 किलोमीटर जहाँ से शिप जाते हैं. तो सबसे बड़ी कहानी यहाँ पर हुई. सो ये जितनी भी कंट्रीज हैं, जब ये यूएई, जबल अली पोर्ट, हमाद, दमाम, सऊदी अरेबिया का, ये जितनी कंट्रीज हैं उन सब का इफेक्ट हो गया. देयर होल ट्रेड हैज कम डाउन एक्चुअली, राइट? सो नाउ द सिचुएशन इज दैट even you are exporting to countries like Russia, they are also going to be affected because the root of these countries is also the same. So don't think कि Middle East का crisis हुआ है तो बस और कुछ नहीं है, दूसरी countries में effect नहीं हो रहा. Any countries where the services is via this particular trade lane, Gulf या Red Sea is definitely going to be affected actually. So ये सारा Red Sea की कहानी है. So let's come back now. Look at the war research. It was nil for Europe. Red Sea crisis से पहले की बात करें. In charge this much. Just see Gulf trade lanes. जितनी भी Gulf countries हैं, उसमें पहले 50 से $100 लग रहा था because insurance company was smelling that there is something wrong is going to happen. There could be a war. They were charging $100 to $50 to $100 as war research charge. जैसे ये crisis hit हुआ, 1st March से $2,000 for a 20 footer and $3,000 for a 40 footer is being charged against war research. Now this is something which I want you to read later on. This covers insurance company thinks कि attack हो रहे हैं, piracy हुई है, missiles, conflict, civil unrest near the shipping lanes. जहाँ पर भी nearest में ऐसी disturbance हो रही है, they will put this surcharges, or they will charge a premium from a shipping line, and shipping line passes on this premium to the exporter. इसलिए ये war surcharge आपको लग जाता है. So एक तो ocean freight बड़ा जो मैंने पीछे दिखाया आपको, ये या गल्फ वाला, ये वाला, इसके ऊपर war risk भी लग गया, तो आप कहाँ जाएंगे? We are talking about almost 3,000% increase to place like Jebel Ali. और अब क्या हो रहा है? अब एक चीज और शिपिंग लाइन ने ढूंढी है. What they are doing is they are trying to send the consignment to खुरफकान. खुरफकान का नाम सुना होगा आजकल, जो भी जबल अली कर रहा है. तो जबल अली ना जाकर एक छोटा सा पोर्ट है वहाँ पे जिसको कोई देखता नहीं था, उसकी कैपेसिटी भी बहुत कम है. Every shipping line has turned toward that, and that also has got congested. ये हो गई प्रॉब्लम हमने डिस्कस कर ली. This is the discussion of the problem which is ahead of us right now. So what are the things we are supposed to do as a strategy, as a practices? So anything which is unclear related to the problem where we are today, they can raise your hand and want to understand that. Although I've tried to explain, I've taken up the previous crisis also which happened with you. But if you have understood, then we will move forward and discuss 10 strategies which come to my mind as an exporter so that it is beneficial for everybody. All right? So ये freight आपने देख लिया. This is Qatar, this is Saudi Arabia, Oman, Saudi Arabia, UAE. Majority of handicraft goes to these particular countries. आप शायद नहीं export करते होंगे, but काफी लोग forget about others. जबल अली तो करते ही करते हैं. दुबई. Yes sir. आप कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं सर? करते हैं. आप करते हैं export सर? So you want to share something what is going through right now? What particular commodity goes?
Handicrafts imitation.
I see. Maybe the volume is not very high, but I'm sure your buyer pays a good margin.
Yes, sir. No doubt.
Now, ये मैंने लाल किया हुआ है वॉर रिसर्च आज, बट आपको इस सेशन में थोड़ा सा मैं और इन्फॉर्मेशन देना चाहता हूँ कि और बहुत सारे सर्चार्ज हैं। अब ये जो सर्चार्जेस है ना, ये नेगोशिएबल नहीं होते। ये शिपिंग लाइन में आप जाकर नहीं हो सकते, अरे यार आप क्यों लगा रहे हो $25 $15 कर दो इसको। ओशन फ्रेट यू कैन नेगोशिएट, बट सर्चार्जेस आर अप्लाइड बाय देम एंड विल बी विड्रॉन आल्सो अ पर्टिकुलर टाइम। तो आपको इसको कैसे यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ योर इंटरेस्ट, आई एम गोइंग टू बी टॉकिंग, राइट। So देखिए चाइना में भी है, you will be surprised a shipping line in Vietnam is charging container imbalance surcharge क्योंकि वहाँ पर import कम आता है, export ज़्यादा है वियतनाम से, तो कहते हैं यार कंटेनर हमें कहीं से मंगाना पड़ता है, वो भी हम एक्सपोर्टर से लेंगे। So they are applying container imbalance surcharge. So you cannot fight with the shipping line because it's an independent call. It is not unfortunately governed by a regulatory body of any country today. Maybe in the US थोड़ा बहुत हो रहा है, वो EPCH I think they are taking up very strongly with the government कि इंडिया में regulatory body भी होनी चाहिए जो इसको कंट्रोल करे, right? So these are the 10 practical strategies which I have thought about. I'm sorry if I'm wrong about it, don't laugh, right? Because I'm right now not an exporter, but I've seen exporters who are successfully overcoming this situation. What are the practices they are implementing? I'm trying to convey to you. So I'm a messenger for you today, just observing from the market what is happening and try to convey to you. All right, and they are very smart in the sense they're taking care even the ocean freight rate part also, right? And the seasonality, the crisis, how to maintain relationship with the buyers, how to mitigate the challenges, you know, or the supply chain risk which is coming on their way, how to minimize it. They are very smartly doing it. Although they are also losing money, but not to the extent many other exporters are, you know, losing. So let's understand one by one all those 10 things. So don't worry, that will be the end of the session, you know, today. But these are the highlights for you. All right? Reroute and diversify logistics, we call it. That if you see Strait of Hormuz is a problem, it is known to surprisingly even the college student also. SRCC से एक report उन्होंने कल submit करी. They wanted to have my feedback. They are also learning that what is this issue in the maritime happening today. So exporter को तो definitely पता होना चाहिए. अब आपको Strait of Hormuz का इतना सारा मैंने डिटेल दे दिया, आपको पता भी चल गया, even if you are not exporting. अगर आपको कल मिडिल ईस्ट का कोई ऑर्डर आता है, तो why you want to jump into Strait of Hormuz? अब नहीं भेजेंगे ना शिपमेंट को, क्योंकि आपको पता है 2100% आप दे दोगे, क्या मार्जिन कहाँ से निकालोगे? तो क्या होगा? आपको alternate routes को ढूंढना पड़ेगा. Can you do that? I think very difficult, because you are not keeping yourself updated about. I don't blame you as such, because you hired somebody and it is his job to work for you. Who is that? Freight forwarding. या आप अपनी भाषा में आज भी उसको CHA बोलो. ठीक है? Custom is a smart guy. I agree, and he has been working for ages with you, right? He has become a partner of yours. You treat him like that. जैसे वो Blinkit बोलते हैं delivery partner. So CHA is a delivery partner for you. But then, sir, freight forwarder जो community है ना, वो कुछ ज़्यादा smart हो गई है. They have their own offices in the overseas, or they have their own agents, you know, who will gather a lot of information what is going on in Jebel Ali. So they are the resources for you if you are unable to get it yourself. तो आपको forwarder से relationship बनाने पड़ेंगे, number of forwarders को increase करना पड़ेगा, so that you get correct information. And उसको बोलना पड़ेगा, भाई Strait of Hormuz में तो हर बच्चे को पता प्रॉब्लम है, तो तुम बताओ कि क्या नई चीज लेकर आए हो यार, कहाँ से भेजोगे? तो बोलेगा ठीक है सर, आपका जो है we will diversify, हम आप केप ऑफ या रेड सी से भेजेंगे, still you will be least bothered. ठीक है यार, but freight क्या होगा? That is the मुद्दा. That what is the freight you will get so that your consignment is at least delivered to the consignee. अगर बढ़ रहा है ट्रांजिट टाइम, अगर रीरूट कर रहे हैं उसको या लॉजिस्टिक को डाइवर्सिफाई कर रहे हैं, तो उसकी कॉस्ट क्या होगी? बहुत सारी चीजें हो रही हैं. एक कॉरिडोर बन रहा है जिसको बोलते हैं IMEC. I don't know.
Adani.
Yeah. So IMEC is India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. क्या हो रहा है उसमें? इंडिया से यूरोप सऊदी अरेबिया, इजराइल, ओमान, इस कंट्री से बाय सी और बाय लैंड विच मींस रेल एंड रोड के कॉम्बिनेशन से यूरोप तक डिलीवरी देंगे। अब वो किस स्टेज तक पहुंची है, कोई बेल्ट उसकी रेडी हुई है, आपकी शिपमेंट वहां से जा सकती है। योर फॉरवर्डर शुड बी इन अ पोजीशन टू एजुकेट यू, इन्फॉर्म यू, कीप यू अपडेटेड। तो आप क्या करोगे, आप कल से फॉरवर्डर्स ढूंढना शुरू कर दोगे। जो अभी फॉरवर्डर है उसको टेस्ट करोगे भाई तेरी नॉलेज कितनी है, तो कौन सा एक नया रीरूट करके ला सकता है, क्योंकि DHL तो कर रहा है, यूपीएस भी कर रहा है, फेडेक्स भी कर रहा है। सी इफ यू थिंक यू आर नॉट सेटिस्फाइड, यू कैन इवन यूज दिस इंटरनेशनल फ्रेट फॉरवर्डर। यूपीएस इज वेरी ओपन टू डू योर बिजनेस, आई डोंट नो इफ यू आर अवेयर ऑफ इट। एक टाइम था व्हेन आई केम इनटू दिस इंडस्ट्री, these multinational forwarders were shying away from the exporter on a CR prepaid shipment होती थी, तो वो कहते थे छोड़ो यार पता नहीं पेमेंट कब आएगी है। आज की डेट अलग है, आप एक फोन कॉल करो उसका सेल्स वाला आपके ऑफिस में आकर बैठ जाएगा। मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूँ, क्योंकि एक्सपीडाइटेड DHL इन सबके ऑफिसेज हर जगह में है, 160 कंट्रीज दे आर ऑपरेटिंग ऑन देयर ओन। DB Shankar, आई एम नॉट सेलिंग एनीबॉडी हियर, राइट, आई एम नॉट सेलिंग, यू कैन टेक मेक योर ओन चॉइसेस, बट व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग, जैसे आपका शिपमेंट जो है वो यूएस जाता है रेगुलरली, व्हाई कांट यू जस्ट जीरो डाउन टू अमेरिकन फ्रेट फॉरवर्डर लाइक एक्सपीडाइटर्स या CH रॉबिन्सन या XYZ, और अ फॉरवर्डर, इंडियन फॉरवर्डर जो यूएस की शिपमेंट हैंडल करता था काफी टाइम से, बिकॉज उसका एजेंट हो सकता है वहां पे। देखो बेनिफिट क्या होगा, अगर आप एक्सपीडाइटर को नहीं यूज कर रहे, दूसरा इंडियन फॉरवर्डर यूज कर रहे हो जिसका काउंटर पार्ट वहां पर है एज एन एजेंट, ही विल ब्रिंग द कॉस्ट डाउन, बट एटलीस्ट ही विल नो कि यूएस में हो क्या रहा है। जब टैरिफ वॉर हुआ था, जब 50% तक टैरिफ पहुंच गया, what is that you could do? So one thing is, okay, coming back to this topic, reroute and diversity, how can you do it? Through freight forwarder who understand the dynamic routing situation, because he has to be in the picture, in the system always. That is the strength of a freight forwarder. ये आपका काम नहीं है, बट आपका काम उसको मॉनिटरिंग करने का तो है, अपॉइंट तो आप ही करोगे उसको। सो डोंट थिंक, सॉरी टू डिफर विद फ्यू पीपल, कि CHA वाला गेम जो है ना वो धीरे धीरे खत्म हो रहा है, उसको कस्टम क्लियरेंस करने दो, ठीक है। पहले वो फ्रेट भी लेकर आता था विच वाज फाइन, बट अब जो है फ्रेट फॉरवर्डिंग इंडस्ट्री बन चुकी है, लेट्स रिस्पेक्ट इट। और इतने क्राइसिस हो रहे हैं तो CHA को क्या पता चलेगा, वो यहाँ बैठा हुआ बेचारा, वो भी इधर उधर फोन करके पता करेगा। जो ये फॉरवर्डर है वो तो अपने ऑफिस को कांटेक्ट करेंगे ना, न्यूयॉर्क में क्या हो रहा है। सो द पीपल, there are n number of freight forwarder who is operating to Jebel and Dubai, n number of it, consolidators हैं, NVOCC भी आ गए हैं। I don't want to really digress again, but what I am telling you, besides shipping line, there are many service provider who can educate you on rerouting of the shipment. देखो फॉरवर्डर क्या है, कुछ ना कुछ तो निकाल कर ले ही आता है कि सर अभी ये वाली रूटिंग अच्छी है और इतना फ्रेट मैं आपको लाकर दे दूँ। आप ये ही कर सकते हो, आप इससे ज्यादा। कैन यू स्पीक अ शिपिंग लाइन? नो। मर्स पे कोई फोन उठाता है? सॉरी, मतलब मेरे को बोलना नहीं चाहिए। इट्स हैज बिकम अ बैक ऑफिस। पुणे में कोई लड़की है वहां पर, उसको समझ नहीं आती क्या है ज्यादा, वो फोन पे तो आएगी नहीं। दे विल, शी विल से, कैन यू जस्ट इमेजिन, एक और पॉइंट मैं बोलता हूँ, 3600 फ्रेट लगा सर एक कंसाइनमेंट का। हमारी कोई कंसाइनमेंट थी, हमने मर्स पे करी, किसी भी लाइन पे करी XYZ, उसका फ्रेट 6000 लग गया। And then we checked up and we fought it out for 5 days and they acknowledged their mistake कि duplicate freight लग गया उसमें। अब कितने बेचारे एक्सपोर्टर हैं जिनकी सुनवाई, वो सोचते हैं यार ये तो फ्रेट ही बढ़ गया होगा, और वो आंख बंद करके दिए जा रहे हैं। What I am trying to tell you is, please fight for this. आप एक्सेप्ट मत करो, अगर आप पेमेंट भी कर रहे हो अंडर डिस्प्यूट करो। There is a dispute department in all the organization like Maersk and all. आप छोड़ो मत उसको। Lot of exporters have seen it, or forwarder, because you will not directly deal with the shipping line. Your forwarder, आपको forwarder के पीछे पड़ना पड़ेगा कि बॉस फाइट कर दो। आपको इसके लिए 3 से 4 फ्रेट फॉरवर्डर होने चाहिए आपके पास, 2 मिडिल ईस्ट के, 2 US के, 2 यूरोप के। Who will stop you? Even if your volume is less, because उसका वॉल्यूम भी बेचारे का लेस हो गया and he is desperate for the business. सिचुएशन ये है आज की। तो क्या है, सब उल जलूल चार्जेस लग रहे हैं, आप उसको स्टडी करो, बारीकी से देखो, एक्सप्लेनेशन लो फॉरवर्डर से, और बोलो मेरे को कॉपी कर दो जो मेल डाल रहा है यूएस शिपिंग लाइन। बिलीव मी। और वन थिंग, इफ देयर इज अ सिचुएशन दैट यू आर स्टक इन शिपिंग लाइन इज नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग इट कि भाई यही फ्रेट लगेगा, आप फ्रेट पे कर दो बट अंडर डिस्प्यूट, और उसको लाइव रखो उस स्ट्रगल को। इफ यू कैन हैव दैट मच पेशेंस एंड पुट इन योर एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट थ्रू यू और योर रिसोर्सेज, यू विल बी बेनिफिटेड। सो मेनी एक्सपोर्टर्स आर बेनिफिटेड, वो खुद ही लगे हुए हैं एक्चुअली ये सब करने। ठीक है, एक तो रीरूटिंग का हो गया, फॉरवर्डर इज प्लेइंग अ इंपॉर्टेंट रोल, सो डू नॉट disregard this important topic of choosing the best freight forwarder। और ये नहीं है कि एक फॉरवर्डर ले लिया और वो मिडिल ईस्ट के लिए भी बहुत एक्टिव है, यूएस के लिए भी है, यूरोप के लिए भी है, अफ्रीका के लिए भी है, हर जगह के लिए। यस मैम। What else? Yeah, these surcharges automatically comes to you, in the sense your shipment हुई यहाँ पे, ठीक है, अब border surcharge तो लग ही रहा था। Now the shipping man will raise an invoice from you, then only you will come to know कि ये surcharge लग गया। There is no pre explanation or advertisement or information। जैसे GRI होती है, you're right, जनरल रेट इंक्रीज है, उसके लिए 2-3 हफ्ते पहले शिपिंग लाइन डिक्लेयर कर देती है कि हम GRI लगा रहे हैं, $200, $300। होता क्या है, गिव यू एग्जांपल मैम। I picked up a shipment for St. Petersburg, you know, and St. Petersburg की shipment उठा ली और वो ship में चढ़ गई, sailed, and then one fine day I get a message, I'm talking about myself as a shipping line, कि winter surcharge लग गया $1000 का shipment के ऊपर जो already ship में है, तो I have to go back to the exporter कि सर ये तो देना पड़ेगा। वो कहेंगे कौन सी सर्दी कब आई, कब विंटर आया, कब लग गया सरचार्ज, you cannot fight with them। What I'm trying to tell you is that you surcharges का don't fight। फ्यूल जो होता है वो सल्फर कम सी में डालता है, आपको क्या लेना देना उससे। Of course सस्टेनेबिलिटी का सरचार्ज है। अब आप देखिए एमिशन ट्रेडिंग सरचार्ज यूरोप लेता है, मैंडेटरी यूसेज सरचार्ज इंडियन पोर्ट्स लेते हैं, इंटरनेशनल शिप एंड पोर्ट सिक्योरिटी सरचार्ज, सील्स फी तो चलो ठीक है, फ्रेट एडजस्टमेंट फैक्टर, बंकर एडजस्टमेंट फैक्टर, यू नो, लो सल्फर सरचार्ज, एडवांस फाइलिंग सरचार्ज इन चाइना। हर कंट्री के सरचार्जेस भी अलग अलग हैं, आप पूरी लिस्ट को बनाकर आप मेंटेन ही नहीं कर सकते हो, और ये सरचार्ज नेगोशिएबल नहीं है, मैंने पहले ही बताया था। और आपका क्वेश्चन बहुत जायज़ है कि पता कैसे चलते हैं, कोई एडवांस नोटिस दे रहा है, कोई एडवांस नोटिस नहीं देता। वो जब आपकी कोर्ट आती है उसमें वो सरचार्ज मेंशन होते हैं, बट डोंट बी सरप्राइज व्हेन द शिपमेंट इज बुक्ड and even sailed, I'm sorry to say some surcharges gets applicable at that moment also, very sorry for that।
But these surcharges are not variable one, it is a fixed one, isn't it?
Sir,
it's
it
like,
is
like AMS filing for Europe, USA is a fixed for a long time.
for a long time, very right।
Same goes for Europe.
Sir, not really, sir, unfortunately not really।
AMS also, these are the basic surcharges. Like MUC is also there is for 170 rupees or 80 rupees for the last 2 years.
Yeah, so there are certain charges which has a fixed value।
These are all fixed charges.
Sir, these are generally fixed charges
Whereas PSS and Warwick surcharges
are different।
that is
But-
a variable cost.
but एक चीज मैं बताना चाहता हूँ सर, कि जो फिक्स चार्जेस भी है ना, कुछ लाइन लगा रही है, कुछ लाइन नहीं लगा रही, सेम ट्रेड लाइन। So that's what I'm trying to say। So uniformity नहीं है, regulatory authority नहीं है जो इसको चेक करिए कि भाई तुम लगा रहे हो, तुम क्यों नहीं लगा रहे हो। Nobody is going to check that। US में regulatory body है under Federal Maritime Commission (FMC)। FMC चेक करती है, उसको आप एड्रेस कर सकते हो, but the shipment which goes to Europe, China, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, कहीं पे कोई चेक नहीं है, surcharges you have to pay। But उसको भी कंट्रोल करने का तरीका है, I'm going to be coming। So you understood this part, number 1 point, reroute and diversify logistics through your partner who is a freight forwarder। Have to work with it। चाहे आपकी एक कंटेनर की शिपमेंट है पूरे मंथ में, या LCL भी है, कोई बात, you speak to him, you say this is valuable shipment, otherwise I have to look for another freight forwarder। Put in a pressure, because आपका buyer आपको बख्श रहा है क्या? नहीं। Your buyer will not be negotiating even for 1 penny with you, you know, even during this war, sir, I'm sorry to say, during this crisis also your buyer is not going to be understanding the problem। Few would be very less in number who understand that and they have a long term relationship, पास से आपके buyer हैं बहुत सालों से, you work like a partner to each other, but mostly the buyers will not come into the picture। उसका भी मैं बताऊंगा buyer को भी कैसे tackle करना है। Yes, so this is मैनेजिंग राइजिंग फ्रेट। क्या कर सकते हो आप इसमें? आप लाइन से तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं होगा, मैंने पहले ही बोल दिया था, वन जेंटलमैन मेंशन्ड अबाउट द रिलेशनशिप विद लाइन एंड ऑल, बट आप फॉरवर्डर से तो लॉन्ग टर्म फ्रेट रेट ले सकते हैं। आप उसको बोलो 3 मंथ्स का फ्रेट दो मेरे को, बोल के तो देखो क्या होता है, मैं आपको बताऊँ। freight forwarder may gain in certain period, could also lose it. तो वो एवरेज आउट कर लेता है पूरे साल में मैंने आपसे कितना कमाया. तो आप बोलो यार मेरे को 3 महीने का वैलिडिटी तो चाहिए, बिकॉज माई कंसाइनमेंट्स आर ऑल्सो मोर इन नंबर्स. सो इससे अच्छा ज़्यादा है कंसाइनमेंट, तो वो क्या करेगा, ही विल वर्क इट आउट. Even if he goes in loss for certain shipment, he will respect that particular offer for 3 to 4 months, 3 months. 3 महीने का लेकर चलिए, 1 महीना तो सब दे देते हैं, ठीक है. तो क्या होगा अगर क्राइसिस आ जाएगी बीच में, फिर वो रोता हुआ जरूर आएगा आपके पास कि अरे सर मैं क्या करूं. तो आप बोलो यार देख डेट फाइनल हो गया था, मैं थोड़ा बहुत दे देता हूं, राइट, बिकॉज यू ऑल्सो हैव अ रिलेशनशिप विद इट, राइट. सो फ्रेट कॉस्ट को बचाना है आपको, ये करना पड़ेगा. आपको बायर कंसोलिडेशन में बिलीव करना पड़ेगा. आपको एलसीएल कंसाइनमेंट कैसे हैंडल होती है उस पर भी आना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज योर कंसाइनमेंट साइज में रिड्यूस. या
everybody is quoting rate back to back and not quoting beyond that.
Sir.
It also has a limitation.
सर क्या हो रहा है, शिपिंग लाइन भी वैलिडिटी डिफरेंट दे रही है.
No. Line is giving a validity for particular vessel. If you're talking about like, I'm
Sir,
giving you example just.
I'll tell you, you are not absolutely wrong here. आज की डेट में तो वेसल वाइज मैं मानता हूँ,
If you calculate like import from China, I'm just sharing with you. they are
उसमें तो
giving
वेसल वाइज होता
vessel
है,
wise.
उसमें होता है
If
वेसल
you're
वाइज.
talking about export also from USA, USA also is
Okay,
coming
let me
forward
give you
like
an example.
only 15 days they are putting subject to some
हाँ
conditions,
बिल्कुल ठीक है सर.
right?
मैं क्या
So
बोल रहा
how
हूँ,
can a forwarder can give you even USA rate is not fine for
हाँ,
a 1 year validity.
no, USA rate is you can see
But
it for
no
1
one
year.
is using it,
You
like-
you
like
give me 100
USA
containers to use.
just-
एक मिनट सर, 100 container to use. There are forwarders.
I'm giving you right experience.
So try to understand what I am explaining here.
Yeah.
Yes sir, कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं? पहले आप एक एक करके आप बताएं.
सर मैं ये बोलना चाहता हूँ कि there are forwarders who has got long term, not all the forwarders, who has got long term deals with the shipping lines because they had been doing business for a long time. Now if you talk about even Maersk Line, they believe in tier 1, 2 and 3. अब tier 1 में वो क्या करते हैं, they give a special deal on the basis of the previous performance with the forwarder. Hardly there is any business which is happening directly with the exporter. So वो forwarder has got a better rate with longer validity. I'll give you one example. Samsung एक बहुत बड़ी कंपनी है सर. Samsung की एक forwarding division भी है. That is called Samsung SDS. SDS है ना सर. अब वो SDS क्या है? SDS का रूल यही है, वो दूसरे forwarder से भी रेट लेते हैं. वो कहते हैं यार हमें 3 महीने का रेट चाहिए. उन्होंने कंडीशन रख दी है. अब forwarder क्या करता है? शिपिंग लाइन से बात करता है. शिपिंग लाइन को भी पता है कौन सा बिजनेस है. वो नेम्ड अकाउंट के बेसिस पे रेट फाइल कर देते हैं for long validity. That is happening in the industry, but you're also absolutely right. What perfect example you have given is of China, because I used to represent the Chinese shipping line.
Even for USA, there are companies like I'm telling you, MNC companies name, they have filed a long-term rate.
Of course.
I'm just giving you my example. I was working with division. I had filed a rate for USA. I'm talking about somewhere around COVID period time. And we used to do a lot of shipments from Guyana also and from NCR
Correct.
also for automotive industry.
Yes.
And during that period of time, MSC has filed a special rate, rock bottom rate,
Correct.
and they are giving the containers.
Yes.
And we are also having a rock bottom rate. But the thing is that during that period of time, no forward is giving you that rate label. They are also charging $10,000.
तो उसकी
$12,000.
स्पेशल डील हो गई ना सर लाइन के साथ.
Right, but forwarder is not passing that benefit to the
Sir,
customer.
वही
You are
मैं
saying
करने
that-
का- sir-
you are saying that negotiate with the customer.
That is what I am
But
conveying.
forwarder will never pass on his profit share or benefit, whatever he is getting from the trade.
तो सर आप कोशिश तो करिए ना नेगोशिएट करने की उससे.
He will never give to the forwarder.
नहीं ऐसा नेवर वाला नहीं है सर सीन. नेवर वाला सीन नहीं है.
Excuse me. आप एक बार कंप्लीट कर लीजिए. There will be another question answer session.
ये अभी हमारा क्वेश्चन आंसर चाहिए. ये ऑफलाइन में आप आ जाइए. मैं आपको कुछ और एग्जांपल दूंगा. So insurance cover में हमने कभी भी war risk clauses को सुना ही नहीं था. But today, whosoever is coming with the insurance to you, you ask what is the war risk clauses which can be covered in your insurance, and also you have to take a comprehensive marine insurances. You please do pay much attention on the Incoterms. We EPCH conduct separate session on Incoterms. I generally have taken a couple of them. Please try to push CIF to FOB. Do not accept any D family Incoterms like DAP, DPU or TD. Why? Because you are going to be in very high risk. I do not want to elaborate because otherwise we'll be digressing. Already time is very limited. So आप कोशिश करिए, ऐसा नहीं है कि आप बायर की आर्म ट्विस्टिंग कर सकते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. बट इनको टर्म्स अगर आप डैप एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं या डीपीयू या डीडीपी delivered duty paid, which means you are going to be paying duty of custom place at destination, then God will only save you during this period. Don't commit that mistake, please. That is my personal request to you. So please pay attention on this particular thing. And of course, I am not really going through everything. So I request EPCH to please share this presentation with all the participants. I don't mind doing that. Now, a lot of exporters, what they are doing is, if they happen to be exporting to a particular place regularly, continuously, like San Francisco in the US, or like London, or like in Europe, Rotterdam, what they do is they keep visiting those places, and they're so smart that they have, like a forwarder, they have also appointed some storage space provider. कि emergency में जब कुछ ज़रूरत पड़ेगी, then we can store the goods actually. So a lot of stone exported to the US, granite and all those ones, they have been doing this practice for ages actually. जब crisis आई भी नहीं थी वो तब से कर रहे हैं. I personally, I used to be in San Francisco, so I've seen few exporters taken the warehouse, kept the material over there, and in fact वो बनिया वाला हिसाब sorry don't mind. What they're doing is जब peak time होता है, जब the demand is at the highest level, वो अपने store से निकालते हैं माल, चलो वही निकाल. I'm talking about at destination. They are maintaining stock at destination. So they are so clever. Of course you cannot do. Not everybody can afford to do that. कि आप प्रोड्यूस भी करो फिर रखो भी, पता नहीं कल बिकेगा नहीं बिकेगा. बट अगर आपको लगता है डिमांड है और आप कॉन्टिन्यूसली एक ही पॉइंट में पोर्ट पेयर में काम कर रहे हो, then who will stop you to identify one small storage space कि इस क्राइसिस सिचुएशन में कंटेनर डिटेंशन का भी आप सेविंग कर सकते हो, जो डिटेंशन चार्जेस है, क्योंकि वो डीवैन करके कंटेनर फ्री करके स्टोरेज कर लेते हैं. ठीक है ना? So like that, of course I will not mention anything else, but yeah, majorly we have seen it in Dubai, Singapore and Europe and even US also, this practice of an exporter. And these exporters mainly I have seen for textile and stone. I have not really seen handicraft doing that. Probably seasonality का चक्कर होगा शायद आपका. कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को रिव्यू करिए, वेट कराइए, हायर अ लॉयर. एक बस ये खत्म कर लूं, हायर अ लॉयर, राइट, जो आपको आपका मैरीटाइम कॉन्ट्रैक्ट या आपके जो बायर के साथ एग्रीमेंट साइन हो रहे हैं, ही अंडरस्टैंड्स दैट, हैव अ फोर्स मेजर क्लॉज, राइट. आप उसको स्टडी करिए, बिकॉज बायर जो है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन कर रहा है वो बहुत अच्छे तरीके से स्टडी करता है बजाय एक्सपोर्टर के. सो यू हैव टू पे मोर अटेंशन इन रिव्यूइंग द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. हैव एन एक्सपर्ट टू रिव्यू, वेट कराइए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट and then only enter into some contract. Yes, please. I'm sorry, I stopped.
So I was asking for the previous slide. Are there any were you talking about a third-party thing or their own warehouses or buffer?
I think you're very right. I'm sorry I didn't mention. Thank you very much. It is outsourcing. Yeah. So you can see within India also all the manufacturers are outsourcing. There is a concept in the US or Europe called DCs, distribution centers. So there are so many of them which are available in the whole of US. So you can always, this concept is very common. So you can always lease out a reserved shed space and maintain your stock over there. But that actually happens with an exporter who continuously exports to that point. एक तो shipment होती है उसके लिए आप नहीं कर सकते हैं. और वो भी bulk consignments, like stone and all, or rice even. Rice भी जाता है. जो perishable भी ना हो, वो भी जरूरी है. Now meat you cannot keep it. It needs a refrigerated facility. Contract हो गया. You have to look at your supply chain. A lot of exporters have started sourcing, identifying new sourcing points. अगर वो थाईलैंड से ले रहे थे या वियतनाम से ले रहे थे, they try coming down to within India. They are indigenizing, or intra-Asia like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, which are the freight is not very high and they are neighboring nations. So it's not very easy exercise. But what I am trying to say is that a lot of exporters who are exporting and they have to buy certain commodities from overseas to go into their product actually, they are identifying new sourcing points and they are even indigenizing also. They have spent a lot of time in indigenizing. They have brought in some vendor to that level who can produce those commodities. Like for example, I will give you the apparel exporters, the garment exporters. They were importing zips from YKKT exhibit brand. They were getting it from Japan. Now in today's scenario, it is very costly also. But they are trying to kind of indigenize or find out a stockist over here who can make it available in small numbers also. So that's something which I am trying to point out. So this is related to not exporting to your buyer, but your own purchase or procurement from your supplier. That is an important exercise because most of you are not only traders but you are manufacturers also, right? Air strategy, of course it's going to be very expensive. Whenever we talk about air freight, it is 6 to 7 times higher than ocean freight. So if you can send small parcels to the buyer to keep him satisfied during this crisis, please do so. So identify, just like a freight forwarder, you have to identify the ITAs also. I'm sure मैं कोई नई चीज नहीं बता रहा, but what I'm trying to tell you is have relationship with your ITAs also because you happen to be exporting by sea, air shipment नहीं है, but still you should keep checking because if your buyer is in urgency और उसको चाहिए commodity, and small number has to be sold by your buyer to his customer, then you can air freight that. हम तो सिर्फ सैंपल्स ही करते थे, बट ये क्राइसिस ने ये भी सिखा दिया कि कभी हमें एयर फ्रेट भी करनी पड़ जाती है, ठीक है ना? अब ये बड़ा मुश्किल है एक्चुअली. Every day you should be now like Iran is up to. The things are changing so fast that you have to have this scenario of best, moderate or worst case. If you hearing that this will prolong for more time, then you have your strategy aligned. That is what exporters are doing. They are gauging in which situation they are standing today. I am talking about large manufacturers, automobile people, or pharma people. It is very high time sensitive consignments of pharmaceuticals. They are doing continuously this exercise. Even your volume is small. Who will stop you to do this internal exercise for yourself? You can do it. Within your core team, you can have, you are the owner of the company, you can call some key people, the worker in your or the managers in your office, and understand where do we stand today, right? Then is, you see, when the cost rises, competing on your price becomes very difficult. Do not think कि मैं और कम करता जाऊँगा, उसका कहीं तो अंत हो जाएगा. You cannot work on charity. You have to have margins. तो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? आपको अपनी branding बढ़ानी पड़ेगी. आपको value added product देने पड़ेंगे. Long term contract instead of spot selling. Now, this is I'm not referring to the ocean freight rate. What I'm trying to tell you is, जैसे सर से बात हो रही थी long term की, of course we will discuss more about it if the time permits. But आपकी जो consignment है, आप अपनी कंसाइनमेंट को जब सेल कर रहे हो बायर को, तो लॉन्ग टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव लेकर चलिए. अब ये मत सोचिए कि मेरे पास आज 100 पीसेस है, मैं बस इसको निकाल देता हूँ, that's all. Right? So in today's scenario, you have to think of reducing the the pricing of your products to a level, thinking that yes, throughout the year this buyer is going to be procuring from me. So maybe have a contract with him on those terms. Next is visibility, which is very important. ये Red Sea crisis के टाइम में एक छोटे एक्सपोर्टर के साथ बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो गई थी सर. They were totally lost कि मेरी consignment है कहाँ. Bigger exporter was putting pressure on the freight forwarder, but small exporter was completely lost और उस बेचारे को ये समझ में नहीं आ रही थी that I am paying money also, but nobody is here to help me out. So in this scenario, I am not saying कि आप कोई technology लेकर आ जाओ और सारे container को track करो. What I am saying is there are couple of things which are available. I may be taking one session in Shens called ULIP, Unified Logistic Interface Platform, कि within India जो shipment आपकी export की जाती है, at least आप country के अंदर कहाँ पहुँची है वो तो track कर सकते हो, अगर आपको ये ULIP product पता है तो. ऐसी बहुत सारे products हैं जो integrated नहीं है अभी, अलग-अलग silos में हैं, but those are available. So you can go to their website and check the status of your consignment. इसके लिए मैं session भी plan करूँगा along with EPCH so that you have a visibility right from your factory when the consignment leaves and it reaches to your buyer. I have just recently given a training program to ECGC. Yeah. So in IFT New Delhi. So they were the senior officers of ECGC. They are giving a credit guarantee, right? Corporation. So what is the biggest headache? Delivery of consignment का status नहीं मिलता हूँ. वो कहते हैं destination में जो delivery हो रही है, जो हो गई है, उसका proof हमें लाकर दीजिए, हमें proof ही नहीं मिलता. So the visibility is not there. So what I'm इतने छोटे सेशन में मैं विजिबिलिटी के ऊपर ज़्यादा बोलना नहीं चाहता, but what I'm trying to tell you is have a close visibility of your consignment through various platforms. ULIP is one of them. ऐसे बहुत सारे हैं. हम तो इंडिया की बात कर रहे हैं, जो अगर DB Schenker है या क्यूलन नागल है, उनके पास तो और एडवांस है. Probably you are not aware of it actually. अगर आपकी nominated shipment भी है, आपको ट्रैकिंग तो करनी है ना, वो कहाँ तक पहुँची है. Whatever LC terms are there, you have to keep your buyer satisfied. No? आपका पैसा आ गया, बिल ऑफ लेडिंग दे दी, आपने जमा करा दी बैंक में, बट शिपमेंट नहीं पहुंची तो क्या होगा, नेक्स्ट ऑर्डर मिलेगा क्या? तो यू हैव टू बी वरीड अबाउट दैट. सो आई एम ऑलमोस्ट एट द एंड ऑफ इट. नाउ आई हैव दिस कंक्लूजन स्लाइड इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम माय साइड. सबसे एक इंपॉर्टेंट चीज मैं बताना चाहता हूं जो मैंने गैदर करी है. एक यू सी you have one strategy called geographical identification. कितनों को पता है GI tag? Want to say something about it? आपकी commodity GI tagged है? अच्छा सर.
बेसिकली कल्चर को आइडेंटिफाई करता है, वो बहुत स्पेसिफिक रहता है, तो
Excellent.
उसके लिए वो
सर,
प्रिजर्व करने के लिए
जैसे GPS है, ग्लोबल पोजिशनिंग सिस्टम बोलते हैं इसको, कि आपकी कार कहाँ पर ड्राइव हो रही है आपको नजर आ जाती है. ऐसे ही अगर आपकी कमोडिटी टैग्ड है एस GI, तो आपका बायर अगर आप मुरादाबाद में हो, वो GI से ढूंढ लेगा. वो GI से उसको इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल जाएगी कि अगर वो एक एक्सपोर्टर से काम कर रहा है फ्रॉम मुरादाबाद और कानपुर, और एक्सपोर्टर कौन से हैं जो GI टैग्ड हैं. अगर GI टैग्ड होंगे, देन दैट एक्सपोर्टर लोकेशन एंड हिज वर्क प्लेस इज आइडेंटिफाइड कि ये जो प्रोडक्ट है ओरिजिनेट कहाँ से हो. सो माय रिक्वेस्ट इज कि GI टैगिंग कराइए. एक जियोग्राफिक आइडेंटिफिकेशन रजिस्टर मेंटेन होता है चेन्नई में, यही है ना. सो दिस आई एम सरप्राइज्ड व्हाई एक्सपोर्टर्स आर अनअवेयर ऑफ इट.
We are aware of that, but why would you like a buyer to be
Coming to
finding
you.
out more suppliers other than us?
सर मैं उनकी बात कर रहा
हमारे
हूँ.
लिए तो ठीक है, वेंडर से बोल लेंगे क्या यही से, और बायर को क्या जरूरत पड़ी है?
सर ऐसा है ना, जो लोग उस पार्टिसिपेट नहीं कर रहे उस बिजनेस के लिए, उनको भी तो धंधा करना है ना. सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से, इन दिस टुडेस सिनेरियो, बायर इज लुकिंग फॉर मोर ऑप्शंस. जैसे मैंने आपको बोला था ना, सोर्सिंग पॉइंट के लिए अपना रॉ मटेरियल आप कहाँ से ले रहे हो, दोबारा से रीलुक करिए. ऐसे बायर भी रीलुक कर रहा है. यू नो दैट्स द सप्लाई चेन. क्या है आजकल, सप्लाई चेन्स आर सो स्ट्रेच्ड that it is starting from supplier and it is ending at your customer's customer. Supply chain is so stretched, global supply chain. So that is something which I am trying to convey. Otherwise, what all I have spoken, I have covered in this single slide. And my request is that please go through this, more carefully when you have time. And even if you do not understand anything, you can always come back through EPCH. We will again discuss individually also. That's what the beauty of EPCH sessions are. That after that also I keep getting lot of queries, lot of questions, and I love to answer it if it is within my capacity.
सर एक रिसेंटली अभी शेयर किया था कि भी ई-कॉमर्स एक्सपोर्ट्स पे 10 लाख का जो वैल्यू है वो भी रिमूव कर दिया हुआ है. इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा
सर,
who benefits really from that?
देखिए सर, सबसे बड़ी बात ये है कि पहले तो बायर कितने सारे हैं जो ई-कॉमर्स के थ्रू वो कर रहे. तो अगर वो वॉल्यूम बढ़ता है तो आई एम श्योर you will be benefited if your consignments are going to be ordered through e-commerce.
Or is it more for Amazon, Walmart?
Exactly, it is more for somebody who is already running into that platform.
Yeah.
Now ऑस्ट्रेलिया की मैं बात कर रहा था. Now Australian buyers are preferring of late, हमने ये देखा कि e-commerce होता क्या है सर. e-commerce में there is a digital platform and through that the buyer clicks the button and he purchases, irrespective of जयपुर में बैठे हो या मुरादाबाद में बैठे हो. तो जयपुर के एक्सपोर्टर के पास था, कहता मेरी वाइफ ने भी बिजनेस शुरू कर दिया. I said how? कहता वो जो बायर परचेज होती थी, छोटी सुवेनियर्स लेते थे, अब वो सारा ई-कॉमर्स में आ गया. वो तो कहता उसने भी अपनी एक कंपनी शुरू कर दी. तो जो बचा कुचा माल होता है वो कहता मेरी वाइफ बेच देती है. अब ई-कॉमर्स में हो क्या रहा है सर कि दैट इज ओनली अ डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म. जब वहाँ पे बटन क्लिक होता है, यू बी सरप्राइज, जो Amazon या Walmart और जितने भी हैं, they uses our services, because on the ground level what all we do is reflected into their platform, truly. But then I think EPCH also has to work toward this, taking e-commerce more seriously and understanding what is the government's interest into that, or what kind of a benefit government is going to be giving that. Rahul sir, would you like to say
But
something?
would you agree that is it these bigger companies are benefiting more than us, the exporters?
100% sir.
The value removed by them.
सर अमेजोन का शिकागो में इतना बड़ा वेयरहाउस है कि वहाँ पर स्टेट लेवल पे बिडिंग होती है ई कॉमर्स का जो उन्होंने बनाया हुआ है, जो इंपोर्ट करते हैं, वो कंसाइनमेंट्स आर इन ह्यूज नंबर्स सर. देयर इज नो कंपैरिजन. they have reached to such a level that it is difficult to compete with. Sir, you would like to say something?
As far as e-commerce is concerned, you must be knowing as we have this initiative at IML which is called Expo Bazaar. So what we are trying to encourage our exporters to take benefit of that Expo Bazaar platform for cross-border e-commerce. So that is one initiative that has been taken over the last 2-3 years.
Thank you sir. So any question and answer, I'm sure अभी शायद नहीं होंगे, बाद में होंगे आपके पास questions. You can send it to EPCH and then we can collect the questions and answer that individually.
Yeah, if you have any quick question, probably you can shoot now or else we'll conclude.
सर का क्वेश्चन मैं बाद में चाय के साथ लेंगे सर वाला क्वेश्चन जो आपने कहा.
If there are no questions, I mean, I've got 2-3 important information to share. You must have heard about ECGC has come out with a scheme called Relief. We have already circulated about the scheme now, and we are also going to hold a session on this. I'll let you know the details of the session. But I'll share what Relief is all about, brief. Now, what they are trying to do is, there are 3 components in Relief. One is, the first component of the scheme is resilience and logistics intervention for export facilitation. That is Relief. Now the first component of the scheme is export credit support for ECGC's already insured exporters. Now this applicable for shipments in respect of which onboard bill of lading or airway bill has been issued between February 14, 2026 to March 15, 2026. So if any airway bill, shipment onboard bill of lading is there of these dates, between these dates, ECGC will provide enhanced cover of up to 100% of loss subject to approved terms and verification. Then there is component number 2, encourage and facilitate ECGC coverage for export credit support for upcoming exports in the region. Applicable for shipments in respect of which onboard bill of lading and airway bill is granted between March 16, 2026 to June 15, 2026, excluding energy shipments to the region. To enable ECGC to provide enhanced cover up to 95% loss subject to approved terms and verification. Now there are certain countries which are covered in this, which include UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Israel, Qatar, Oman, Bahrain, Iran, Iraq and Yemen. The third component of the scheme is reimbursement support for extraordinary freight and insurance surcharge borne by eligible non-ECGC insured MSME exporters. In the component 2, the coverage is 95%. In the component 3, the coverage is 50%. In the countries remain same. So they have come out with a scheme. We have circulated this scheme amongst all our members, and we are also going to hold a session through our Exporters Clinic initiative on 21st April 2026. The link of the same has already been shared. So you can join that session on 21st April 2026 at 3:30 p.m. It's an online session. Now apart from these initiatives, what has happened is they have been representing this issue to the government. Now what they have done is the customs have already issued some of the circulars pertaining to back to town initiative. So if your shipment has been sent and for some reason it has not been able to sail through, so the back to town facility is there with no demurrage charges. Those custom circulars we have also circulated that to you. Then there is another circular which has been issued, which has been circulated by us, which is a green corridor between Oman and Dubai. So that has also been shared with you. Now what happens in that is the green corridor provides for expedited customs clearance bonded movement of containerized and air cargo shipment through Oman to Dubai, and ensures operational continuity by offering an efficient alternative to maritime routes affected by prevailing disruption. So these are some of the initiatives which government has taken, and we've been sharing with all of you. So this is it. And before we conclude, thank you so very much for joining us. We have a memento to be given to our guest speaker. So I would request Mr. Pasi, our former chairman, and also request Mr. Arun Sharma to join him. So thank you so very much once again. We look forward to you joining us for this exporters training session. This is a very important session by ECGC on the 21st. So thank you once again. Thank you.